Hello everyone and welcome to Siriana Tarot. This is a singles new love reading for Capricorn. We're going to look at the kind of love you're ready to experience now based on the growth you've already done. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Clear messages, advice, and guidance for my Capricorns, please. All right, so we're seeing the King of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. All right, they're also showing up as the Page of Cups, so you have a water sign here. All right, they're viewing you as the Ace of Cups. Okay, holy smokes. And the connection, the Chariot card, Cancerian energy. And we see the Nine of Pentacles. All right, so this is gonna be emotional, my lovely Capricorns. All right, so sorry, I had to pause the camera there for a second. So the Nine of Pentacles tells me that you have somebody here, Capricorn, who's invested in their health and their wellness. I do think this person's very loving, very emotional, very romantic. Now remember, your opposite sign, if you're a Capricorn sun viewing this, is Cancerian energy. So this really may be someone who really fills in your gaps, right? Someone who has what you need and vice versa, where you two balance each other in the most harmonious ways. I feel like this is, like I said, with the Nine of Pentacles, somebody who is invested in their health and their wellness. This is somebody that, although they're very emotional, very Cancerian energy, they're not somebody who's codependent, right? This is somebody who's quite independent and most likely has everything they need but love. And they certainly do have a lot of love to give. The King of Cups is one of my creative visionary cards. The King of Cups is somebody who's very loving, but they don't always wear their heart on their sleeve. This is somebody who I feel is going to bring you peace and calm. Like this person brings you peace. And it kind of feels like with this King of Cups, like you are what this person has been waiting for, my lovely Capricorns. All right. We see the Hanged Man, Pisces energy. So for some of my Capricorns, this person is hanging out in your energy, meaning they could be somebody who's, liking your stories or your reels or checking your, your updates on, WhatsApp or whatever. This person may be somebody who's around you in some capacity, somebody you see at the gym, somebody you see at your favorite restaurant, bar, club, at the dog park, at the grocery store. I do feel like this is somebody that may do yoga or meditation or is quite like spiritual and also combines, that body, mind, and spirit ethos, I guess is what I want to say. Let's see. And we have the Page of Pentacles. All right. So this person might have some Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn in their chart, which is quite grounding, especially with all this water here. But again, you being if this is an earth and water combo, like a Cancer or Pisces and Capricorn connection, remember that the perfect amount of water and earth is fertility, right? That's how plants grow. That's how trees grow, and too much water, will kill the plants, right? And not enough water, everything's going to dry out. So I do feel like there's a real potential for balance, fertility, growth within this connection. The Page of Pentacles is not always one of my secret admirer cards, but in this case, I do kind of feel like this is somebody that, as emotional as they are, they're also somebody who's very discerning. They take their time. This is somebody who really looks at all the details before they get invested. And because this person knows that they have a lot to offer, I feel like they've built something for themselves here, and at the very least, it's independence and stability. So, they really do want to preserve that and make sure that the right person, is entering their life here. All right. So, and again, I do kind of get an energy of them watching you or checking you out. So it could be like secret admirer vibes. So how you're going to be feeling, oh my goodness, Capricorn, the High Priestess, Cancer, Pisces energy. So you might be, you might be crushing on this person as well, but I feel like your intuition is going to be spot on about this person and about this connection, and is going to be what kind of moves you forward. They might be a little bit different than your usual taste or the person you normally date, but there is just something very special here about them. All right, so let's see, what else do we need to know? All right, so there could be a generational difference here. So you might be older or younger than this person. But I feel like if this person is older than you, for example, and with these 2 pages coming out, they don't really act their age, but not in an immaturity sense, right? But like they don't feel like they're that much older than you. And if they're younger than you, for example, Capricorn, they might have a bit of an old soul and that wisdom about them that makes it feel like this is really compatible. For some of you, this person may be retired. Now, I know some of my Capricorns are like, all right, I don't do, that's not my age group. That's not my wheelhouse. But what I urge you is to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And some of you, yes, this may be somebody who's 65 plus or has retired at whatever age. But for a lot of you, this person enjoys their personal time. They have more flexibility in their schedule, and they could be slightly older than you. All right, so again, it doesn't have to strictly be 65 plus. And as you know on my channel, if you've been listening to me for some time, when this card comes out, Capricorn, a lot of times it indicates somebody who's had 2 distinct careers. All right, so they may be like a retired firefighter, but they've moved into something else. Or maybe they were, a school teacher for many years and now they do something different. All right, so we see intense. So there is an intensity to this person and to their emotions for sure with all this water here. The depth of this person's thoughts and emotions indicate a high intellect and a strong focus on their subject. For some of you, this person could be a Taurus or have Taurus in their chart. We do see that they have this grounding earth energy to them, though. They're stable, they enjoy aesthetics and comfort as they're ruled by Venus. They're loyal, they're kind, they can also be stubborn. And we see karmic soulmate. Now, don't let this put you off, because I know a lot of readers or a lot of people say, oh, a karmic soulmate is just for painful lessons. And I don't agree. I think that you're meant to learn lessons in this connection and help each other evolve, right? So there are lessons here, but those lessons can be about, showing up and being accountable. The lesson can be, there's a fracture, but, maybe I learned to repair things differently, or like this person teaches you to trust again, or teaches you that it's completely okay to be your authentic self, so just be careful. Don't shut down just because it says karmic soulmate here. All right, so we see Page of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. Again, this person is sweet. I do think that, for a lot of my Capricorns here, this may be someone who feels maybe a little too good to be true. Okay, so you might be a little bit hesitation, but your intuition is going to say, let's see. Ooh, look at that behind your intuition. There's victory, and we also see the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Don't hold back. Yeah, there's something here that's telling you not to let this one get away here, Capricorn. So some of you, you're going to be meeting through friends. Okay, so that's always a good thing, having mutual friends in common. From down under, there could be some sort of Australian connection. Again, this person doesn't have to be Australian, but it might be something you find out after the fact, that they were born in Australia, or Australia is on their bucket list, or, they studied in Australia, or something along those lines. They have family there. And mysterious. Yeah, there is an element of mystery about this person with this water sign, Pisces energy, Cancer energy. Maybe they have Scorpio in their chart. There is an air of mystery about this person, and I do think that they've really piqued your interest. And, some of you will start off as this person. You'll be secretly admiring them as well. And we see can't forget you. So some of my Capricorns, this might be somebody who from the past, but I don't really think so. I feel more so that you just make a really big impact on this person. You impact them, and there's no way that they can just, not forget you, right? Or there's no way that they could just get you out of their mind. So I'm not saying it's necessarily love at first sight, but it's something very similar. All right, Capricorns, let's see what else we need to know about this person. All right, we see sudden wealth. Okay, so for some of you, this person maybe, was struggling for a while, and boom, out of nowhere. Well, it's probably not out of nowhere, but, all of a sudden they started making really good money. But a lot of times it looks that way, but it usually indicates somebody's been working their tail off behind the scenes. But for some of you, this person has received some sort of inheritance or won a lotto. Maybe they won the scratch-off ticket they got on your first date with you or something like that. All right, but I also feel like this is how a lot of my Capricorns are going to be feeling when this relationship kicks off. Like, whoa, yeah, this like changes everything. We see thief energy in reverse. I like this coming through because it tells me that you have somebody honest. You have somebody who's really worked hard for what they have. So again, if this person is quite wealthy and they have a lot to offer, you know, they went about it by working their tail off is what I'm getting. I also feel like if there's any sort of interference in this connection, this is the type of person that's not going to put up with it. And not so much on your end, Capricorn, but like if there are other people around them, like they're going to make it very clear that you're their person, that they're with you. You know, this is the type of person who's going to really gas you up and compliment you around other people. All right, and we see house energy. So house energy tells me this person might have, you know, their own apartment. They might have their own house. They could work in real estate. Real estate could bring you two together. But I also feel like this is somebody who's ready to make their house a home. So again, they're single. They're available. They're just looking to share what they've worked for with somebody else. And I love that. And we see expectation. So I do feel a lot of my Capricorns, this person has been waiting for you or waiting for someone just like you. All right, so beautiful energy there. Let's see what else my Capricorns need to know about this person or this connection. What else do my Capricorns need to know about this person or this connection? All right, so this person can speak more than one language fluently. That's for some of you, not for all of you. We see they may have dark hair. So, you know, remember these really specific messages, Capricorn, they're not going to resonate with all of you, but they certainly will be confirmation for some of you. And they may have called you the other night, so some, you know, select few of you may be in contact with this person already. Maybe you're dating them. But again, this will be somebody here who picks up the phone and calls you rather than just shooting you a message. All right, and we see they grew up in a better than average household. Okay, again, that's going to be for some of you, not for all of you. We also see that your paths will cross after you make some sort of final decision. Okay, so again, that could be changing jobs. That could be you've decided you're going to buy a home, so you're going to start looking. It could be, you know, making, you know, cutting off all your hair, right? Or, you know, starting to go to the gym, like I'm going to be dedicated to this, whatever it might be. And we see that this person may wear a meaningful accessory often. For a lot of you, it could be a necklace. I'm picking up something that lands right around their heart chakra, so like a necklace. But of course, it could be something that brings them luck. It could be something that was made for them. It could be something that, you know, brings up good memories for them. All right, so Capricorn, they're seeing you as the Ace of Cups. They're seeing you as someone brand new. They're seeing this vibrant heart chakra energy. They're seeing all this potential for love with you. And most likely that's because you also offer them stability and they feel safe around you emotionally, physically, financially, whatever it might be. All right, and we see the Eight of Wands in reverse. So this person may feel like you're a little bit guarded. They may feel like you don't talk that much to them, right? Like maybe they've tried to strike up conversation and it fell flat, or that you're always kind of busy. They might feel like they might be a little bit insecure, a little bit worried that they're not everything you were hoping, you were hoping for, or that like they don't match or fit into what your ideal mate or partner looks like. We see the Six of Swords. Again, but there is something about you that really brings this person peace, like they feel calm around you. But I do get a little bit of insecurities here, and also, especially if this person is a lot older than you, Capricorn, or there's an age difference, they may be a little bit worried that you're going to move away from them, okay? That you're going to move off in a different direction or move on from them. All right, so interesting energy, a little bit of insecurities there. But how my Capricorns are going to be feeling, we see the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is, for me, it has some sexual undertones here. I think you're going to be very physically attracted to this person, but I also think that you are going to be slightly guarded, maybe because of what you've been through, but more so, I just think that you're a little bit guarded because you are hesitant when it comes to love, because you want to make sure that, you know, you're really with the right person. And like, you don't just let any old person in. All right. And the Nine of Wands here also is an indication, Capricorn, that this could be a past life soulmate connection. And some of you hold a torch for this person. We saw that with the High Priestess. Like, this could be somebody maybe you've been talking to, or is a friend, or somebody you've seen out and about or at the gym for some time, and you're like, ooh, that person's sexy, they're hot, I like this person. But still a little bit guarded there. All right, so we see damsel energy. This person is viewing you as the damsel archetype, Capricorn, understanding the nature of healthy romance, inspiring you to rely on yourself. So they definitely don't see you as clingy. This person might be worried that they're a little bit more intense, a little bit more clingy than you are. We see storyteller archetype, so an ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. So they love the way you communicate. Yeah, they love listening to your stories, to your travels, what you've been through. And they also see you as a guide, so that they see that you have wisdom, but they also see that other people look up to you, and they find that to be, they're going to be very proud of that. That you represent the nature of the divine in life and in yourself, that you're wise, that you're emotionally intelligent. People come to you for advice. All right, beautiful energy. So the Chariot card, I feel this is, this Cancerian energy tells me, my Capricorns, that this is going to be a very loving and very nurturing connection. Strong soulmate energy with the black and the white horse. This is going to be one where you two find creative solutions to work through problems or fractures, to get on the same page. But this is really, Cancerian energy is about building and growing and a major breakthrough in love. Okay, so let's see what else my Capricorns need to know. All right, learning through contrast. This connection highlights differences that invite understanding. Growth comes from awareness, right? And like, a lot of you, this might be like a Cancer-Capricorn relationship. And again, maybe not necessarily they're a Cancer, but there is contrast here. It's like that opposites attract. But it highlights differences that invite understanding. Again, you two kind of filling in each other's gaps. All right. And present in the moment. This person engages fully rather than projecting far ahead. Connection unfolds naturally. Yeah, so again, this person is somebody who, I'm not going to say that they're not going to think about a future for you or want to plan a future here, but this is somebody who's very comfortable staying present and seeing how things go. All right, and we see to teach healthy boundaries. This connection highlights where balance, clarity, and self-honoring choices are needed. So again, I'm not gonna knock my fellow water signs out there, because many of you know that I'm a Cancer sun. But I do think that you naturally, being the opposite energy of what this person is giving off here, you may be naturally a bit more boundary oriented. And this connection is going to highlight that, and where self-honoring choices are needed. So again, the right person isn't going to be put off by you saying, I need some space, or whatever. So you and this person are going to meet through shared work or purpose. This connection enters through a shared responsibility, goal, or collaborative effort. Alignment forms as you move towards something meaningful together. Okay, beautiful. Absolutely. All right, Capricorns, let's go ahead and see what else we need to know here. What else do my Capricorns need to know here? What else do my Capricorns need to know here? Okay, guided steps to great love. Follow the path of ascension. All right. Tease. The energy is fun and lighthearted, but uncertain. So again, it could start off as a friendship. Maybe teasing is how you two kind of flirt. All right. And again, there might be some uncertainty at the beginning of this connection. But yeah, I feel like this is coming through a lot in the reading. And I would say it's like the spine of this reading is that healthy space and room to breathe. freedom. And this comes from trust, but this also comes through honest communication and setting boundaries. All right. And we see memento, a gift from someone special. So they might be somebody who has already given you a gift, Capricorn, or they may give you a gift. This can also, as part of their love language. But this can also be, just a gift from the universe, right? And we see material attachment. So don't judge a book by its cover. I was getting like this person might be a little bit different than whom you normally date. That could be like in their physical appearance. It could be in their age. It could just be, their interests, like the type of person they are. So Spirit's saying don't judge a book by its cover. All right. And final messages, advice, and guidance for my Capricorns regarding dates and times. So we see December. Okay, some of you are December Capricorns out there. December is also Sagittarius energy. Maybe some of you already met this person in December. Okay, and we see it maybe unfolding in the coming weeks. You will hear news soon, and we also see April being important to this connection. All right, my lovely Capricorns, I'm going to leave it here, sending you love and light. Take care.